So, Dr. Williams here, Chiropractic Elevated. Corona time, so we're masked up, gloved up, everything's been sanitized, taking precaution. Today, taking another look at my the care I do for my dancers, my avid dancers. I always say my dancers and soccer players have the worst ankles ever. I have a full-on program that I do for rehabilitating and stabilizing the ankle, but one of the things that helps is that we get you a pair of orthotics. And that is, most of individuals get orthotics for the sake of taking care of their arches, fallen arches, but that's not always the case. In this case, arches are okay. We have a little bit of overpronation on the left side, so I'm going to accommodate for that. We already did an assessment, we already did an adjustment, and along with this, we're going to do some balance exercises afterwards, but right now you're going to sit with me for the whole process. All right. I like this process a whole lot better than my previous scenario, because before we would have to wait maybe like 3 or 4 weeks to get the actual orthotics in the mail. We already sized the patient. Let's see here, left foot. All right, let's see the left foot up here. All right, so placement is everything. Move the table just a little bit. I need everything at 90 degrees. Hip at 90 degrees, knee at 90 degrees, ankle at 90 degrees. So I'm gonna move back a little. Make sure alignment is pretty decent. All right, looks good. So we want a little bit of space behind the heel because I want that to cuff and come up a little bit. All right, I like it. And sometimes I will do, well, I can show that in another video how we accommodate for fallen arches, but like I said, this time we don't have to worry about that. Glasses for precaution. All right. We'll do a slow process of bringing the foot down to the glass plate. Now, like I said, on the left side, there's a little bit of overpronation, so I'm going to do the opposite. So ankle is rolling inward. I'm going to put a little pressure in the opposite direction to help with that. All right. All angles look good, comfortable. I like it. The angle in place. Make sure the foot doesn't play too much. Knee placement plays a part. I don't want it moving too much during this process. I don't want it too inward, too outward. And I can speed through this part. Yeah. And at this time, you don't feel anything, right? No heat, no warmth, no cold, no tension. Takes about 2.5 minutes. I'm glad he's hungry. Yeah, orthotics saved my life, man. Seriously, I was on my feet a lot of back pain, doing everything under the sun to get it together. Finally started seeing improvement once I started wearing my orthotics on a regular basis. And as I mentioned before, it's just your foundation. You know, it's if your foundation is just like building a house. If your foundation is faulty, everything above is going to be faulty. It's the first symptoms will be at knees, then hips, lower back, neck, even so, headaches. Trust me, I've seen it. Nice. Clean that up. That's your thigh. Starts out like this. Ends up nice and firm. Alright, on to the next one. Typically, I'll move over to the other side, but for the sake of the video, I think we're okay right here. Alright, I think we're okay. I think we're perfect. Yeah, that was good. Now this one, there is no overpronation, so I don't need to do that tilt. So we're good. Good. All right, we're in place. Good. So like I said, no extra modification on this one. I'm just holding everything in place. Wait our 2 minutes. We'll be set. We'll have a full-on pair. And recommended that you get rid of, let's say if you have a favorite pair of shoes that you're going to be wearing this with on a regular basis, take those insoles out because it's going to take up a lot of space and you don't want your shoes to be extra tight. I had to learn that the hard way. And also, first week or so, maybe first couple weeks is going to be uncomfortable because you have to think about it. We're changing the framework of everything you've known as normal. So every time you sit, every time you stand, every time you walk, it's different now. So I usually recommend individuals starting with 2 days a week, maybe 3 days a week, and then gradually going up in time. And then after about 3 weeks or so, depending on consistency, then going to doing exercises or running or things like that before just jumping into it with the orthotics. And I wear mine daily. Couple occasions, a couple pairs of shoes that have pretty decent arches. I have flat arches. So a couple of shoes that have decent arches, I don't wear them with. But daily, I have mine on. And I have about 2 pair. I'm spoiled. Orthotics. So what you want to do now, take the plastic off, insert them into your shoes, walk around a little bit, see how it feels. Oh, and we can lose the glasses now. Some shoes you could get away with leaving the regular insoles in there, but I typically recommend replacing the two. Alright, walk around a little bit, see how it feels. And the cushion on there is thorough, so you'll feel some comfort just from that alone. Nice.
Feels good.
Awesome.